what is going on out there, horror fam? How's everyone doing tonight, huh? Good to see y'all's smiling faces back in here. Once again, I'm going to be doing this stream with Anna the Annihilator. Look at her. She's in here. Same evil self, same evil time.
Yeah.
Same.
Pretty much the same level of evil.
Same level of evil as always.
Yes.
That's our Anna. And let me adjust. Yeah. So.
Yes.
How are you doing, Anna?
I'm sleepy.
Oh, you're sleepy? Why are you always so sleepy? Are you like Dracula? You're going to slumber?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that it?
It is time for the great slumber.
Yes, yes! Alright, so did you all see...
Who made it? Who made it out?
My latest post-Aruski in the community tab. In which I'm like, guess what we're about to watch? That is taken inside of my little baby theater that we go to. It's the closest one.
Baby.
All right, my friends, we have seen Renfield.
We did that thing.
Okay, so we were really excited to go and see this movie.
I was particularly.
I was really excited to see it too.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I hear the rain. It's coming one hell of a dark and stormy night, my friends. So if something happens to me, let it be known I was here. But let me tell you something about Renfield. I feel horribly cheated. That is how I felt, probably in the beginning of the damn movie. Probably within the first 20 minutes.
Really?
I was like, I feel cheated.
I feel like it took me a little longer than that to feel thusly. But
yeah. Yeah,
I was sold a bit of goods.
Yeah. Yeah, so Renfield, based on the trailers we've seen, is supposed to follow, of course, Dracula and his loyal servant, Renfield, who survives off of eating bugs. And it is his job to feed Dracula, supply him with victims, take care of him, all that good stuff. The movie is called Renfield. I watched the trailer numerous times because we've been seeing other movies in theaters and you can't escape the trailer, and we watched it on YouTube too. And then I get there and Renfield isn't the main character. Kind of. It's not his, okay, but it's not his story.
It definitely
It is not his story.
The film definitely has like an A story and a B story as opposed to one main plot. He's the main character of the A story, but there is a massively fleshed out B story of which he is not the main character and takes up a great deal of the film's airtime and doesn't mesh as well with the A story as it should. Yeah,
so Renfield's not the main character. Instead, it is some woman by the name of Awkwafina who is like a real life comedian. And the story, it is her movie. And I was like, I didn't even see her in the trailer. That is how much you do not see. I went and rewatched the trailer before I got on here. She's in it for a combined time of like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And it shows you all this cool shit that Renfield does and all these things going on with Renfield. And it's not his story. It is more reliant on her character. And you barely get any Nicolas Cage as Dracula. And he's the coolest one in the damn movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
by
so
far.
Yeah. Nick Cage's performance as Dracula is incredible, as expected.
Yeah.
It is the best part of the film. Yeah. By far. Although, Nicholas Holt's portrayal of Renfield was, kind of sad and quirky and fun. And I enjoyed his performance a lot too. I liked Awkwafina. I don't think Steven did very much, but it's, to be fair, like it was his first experience of her as well.
No,
but I think the biggest problem was that you had these two like parallel storylines going on, and they just didn't weave together as well as they should. There were absolutely moments in the movie where if you were paying really close attention, you could tell that scenes had been cut. And so you were missing necessary information. And that was bizarre. It's like when you can catch that, that's
I mean, characters will show up in places. I called this out early in the movie. Characters will show up, or about halfway through, characters will show up in places, and I looked at you and I was like, why the hell are they here?
Why are they here? And it's like, oh, they cut that out.
They clearly missed, they left a piece out in editing. Patty asked, we were talking about seeing it. Should we? Wait for it to come out on streaming. There is no draw to see this in theaters. None whatsoever. I will say the gore is really great. The gore is fun, but there is absolutely no benefit to seeing this in theaters. None. There's, you're not going to get exquisite cinematography. You're not going to get good storytelling. There's no point to seeing it in theaters. Watch it at home on your couch with your friends, because there were times while I was sitting in the theaters and I was actively bored.
Yeah, which is easier when you can get up and grab
much
something
easier
from the fridge.
Yeah, I would have been much happier if I could have got up, got me a glass of milk and some damn Oreos, and struggled through the movie. But it's worth a checkout. Stephen Poirier says it's worth a checkout. Yes, I would say it's worth a checkout. I don't want it to sound like I hate it,
but he did.
I didn't hate it. I'm at like a 5 out of 10 on it. I'm really disappointed. One thing that hurts me, that really offends me about this movie, is that I was absolutely cheated. The trailer does not match the movie whatsoever, and Awkwafina was horribly annoying. Because listen at the way I talk. I cuss like a sailor in real life. I try to tone it down on here. Now that's saying something. Y'all have heard me drop numerous. Awkwafina was like Awkwafina played the woman with the foul mouth who is supposed to be shocking and give you a laugh because it's unexpected for her to cuss. Because she's a cop and a woman. That is the character that Awkwafina played, and she was horribly overwritten, and just every time you turned around, she was. But the problem is they duplicated that character because her boss was the same fucking character, an old guy who cussed
too much
at inappropriate times.
Yeah, it sounds weird to say that.
So, super weird. So you can't have the same character, and Awkwafina was just overwritten. And it was her movie. Like Renfield, I wanted to see kick-ass stuff with Renfield and Dracula. I didn't want to see the Awkwafina show. I get it, she's a comedian. I get it, that stuff can be funny during stand-up. She does it for shock value. But come on, man. We can't have 3 Samuel L. Jacksons in one movie. You can't do that.
We do. We cuss a lot. So that's not even where this is coming from.
Yeah.
I probably have a dirtier mouth than Steven does.
But it's clearly what
that's not what we're picking on. It's just that
it's her show. And that's the character she plays. We've seen that character before. They had the same thing in Cocaine Bear, but it was with a little kid.
Yeah.
The little kids aren't supposed to cuss, so cuss and shock everybody. And it's like, okay, but it was cute. He's a little kid. It was far more effective in that. So, yeah, so I really felt cheated by Renfield. Like you said, the editing was bad. Stuff had been left on the editing room floor that should have been included in the movie.
Yeah.
The pacing was horrible. The pacing was absolutely horrible.
The beats were off.
The character development was absolutely horrible because, like I said, this isn't Renfield's movie. It's not Dracula's movie. It's Awkwafina's movie, which you're not prepared for. And then you get in there and you're supposed to care about characters that they haven't even developed.
Well, okay. So that was the biggest problem. So, because it was 2 different stories being told, and you weren't obviously prepared for 2 stories to be told.
There's like 3 stories being told, though, because don't forget the cartel.
Well, yeah, but her story is the cartel story. Like, that's what I mean. Like, that would have been its own film. Like cop versus the cartel.
Yeah, so you spend time with the cop. You spend time with the cartel the son of like the cartel leader.
Yeah.
Then you spend time with Renfield. Then you spend time with Dracula when he goes on his own mission. I mean, it's a mishmash.
Yeah. Well, and like we said, like it probably a lot ended up on the cutting room floor, and you just feel that and it didn't need to. It's only an hour and a half film, which by today's standards is kind of short. So there is some stuff that could have been fleshed out, but it's the beats were totally off, because you would have like moments of high action, and instead of like a quick come down before it ramps back up, you'd have a very long, drawn out come down, like longer than the action sequences.
Yeah, I audibly groaned.
You did a couple times.
A couple times in the theater. There were only 2 other people in the theater, number one. But you would have moments of exquisite gore. Moments of some decent action sequences, and then it would go into like this heartfelt moment with characters you don't give a shit about, and I'm just, oh my god, it's not even, I wasn't even here for your story.
Yeah, so that's the deal, is because there was so much going on and so many different stories happening, none of them felt fully fleshed out. Like none, you didn't. So when you were supposed to care about certain things happening, you really kind of didn't, because they didn't take enough time to ensure that you cared. So like I know my disappointment comes from the fact, because of the way the film was advertised, I 100% expected a Renfield and Dracula fried green tomatoes.
Yeah,
I did. So, like I expected the whole thing to be focused on their relationship, and if Renfield makes friends, it's all about getting him out of this toxic relationship. Like that's that's what was advertised, and that's what absolutely was advertised.
And you know, I expected just this goof. What they wanted to do was they wanted to make the vampire version of Zombieland, and they failed miserably. The blueprint was there. Copy that shit. They wanted to do that, even down to the voiceovers and we're going to freeze on, his Nicholas Holt's face right here. While he's like, well, that didn't go as expected. Them Duke boys have really done it this time. Yeah. And I mean, they even did it to that, but they didn't go all the way with it. There was just, they didn't have an identity for the movie. They didn't know what movie they were making, and
that's the biggest problem, right? That's like, well, I should say the problem in a nutshell. Like that's really encapsulates the whole thing.
Yeah.
The film lacks like true identity. It tried to be too many things all at the same time. And so each one of those things it tried to be kind of failed. Like it wasn't all this or all that. And so it ended up not being, it was just weird.
Okay, let's go through some comments here.
There was some fun gore.
There was great fun gore.
The gore fun?
The gore was really fun. There was some legitimately shocking moments. They even give us, for those of you who are fans of The Final Destination in 3D, they even do a little bit of that. It definitely inspired some of their death scenes, as did the, kind of like the Mortal Kombat games where it goes into like X-ray vision.
Yeah.
And you kind of see there's some shocking death scenes in there. The gore is really good. It's just the story.
Yeah.
That's bad.
And we're getting asked how Nick Cage was. He was incredible.
Nick Cage was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was great.
He was great as Dracula, but you only get about 5 minutes of him. So, I mean, probably combined, you probably only do get like 5 actual minutes of Nick Cage, and it's sad because he was the best character in the movie. But I will say the opening to the movie is great.
The opening to the movie is
phenomenal, because it starts off. They don't jump you, because of course it takes place now.
Right.
They don't jump you right into that. They're like, this is the story of Dracula, and it's Nick Cage's face, like deep faked or superimposed, whatever you want to call it, over top of the original 1932 Dracula.
Yeah, so he basically deep faked him over Bela Lugosi.
Yes.
And they did the same with Nick Holt over the original Renfield. And it's so cute. Kind of a cool, like, nod to... but helps place you into which Dracula storyline. You're not in the book. You're not in Bram Stoker's Dracula. You are in the 1932.
Yeah.
Like that's the timeline of Dracula you're in. So you know Renfield has been with him since the 30s. Like you got it, kind of thing. Like got it.
So
got it.
So and we are going to answer some questions as we go, because I did say we are going to continue our chat last night about some of the best vampire movies ever made. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to be taking questions as we go. Arledge T. Wines coming in here from Facebook. Love you too, brother man. Welcome to the horror fam. If you're on the YouTube Aruski, come on over there and hit us with a subscribe, man. That is my main platform. I would totally appreciate it either way, though. Welcome to the horror fam, dude.
Thanks for coming in. So, I think but just to sum it up, end it. I wouldn't rush out to the theater. Wait for it to stream or to be able to rent it and watch it with some friends, because it does have some fun moments. It does have some good gore. It does have some good laughs. Yeah. And
so my final
take it with
thoughts,
a grain of salt.
Yeah, my final thoughts on it is this: I regret rushing out to see it today before the stream. I am happy that I get to talk to you about it tonight, but I do, because like I said, we have to rush to the theater and then come back, and it's a dark and stormy night, and we cut it really close. We'll get back, and at best we have a half an hour before we're live, at the absolute best. So yeah, I would highly suggest saving it until you can watch it on home video and stream it. I definitely would not rush out to see it in theaters. There is no theatrical draw for it whatsoever. Like, there's no benefit to seeing it in theaters. Yeah. And I do feel cheated by the fact that they lied. The trailer lied. The movie lied, as good old Freddy from Return of the Living Dead would say. You mean the movie lied?
Well, okay.
But so enjoy, folks. If I'm not like, I don't hate it. I'm just disappointed right now in what I got, because they sold me a Baby Ruth in the package of a Snickers. Yeah. Or even worse, they sold me a moon pie in the package of a Snickers. I mean, come on. Moon pie. So Samuel Stokes is asking, is Cocaine Bear more fun? Yes, it absolutely is.
Well, Cocaine Bear is a film that knows exactly what it is.
Yes, absolutely.
And it is. It's really fun.
Yes. Stefan is in here getting absolutely lit. She's got that drink flowing, or he. I can't remember at this point. She. And Patty and John are in here asking her red or white, and what kind of red. And it's
Menage a trois. I've been following this conversation. Look at me go.
Let me let you folks in on a little secret here. I can tell right now, Stefan doesn't even give a shit what kind of wine she's drinking right now, okay?
But I followed it. She's drinking Menage a trois.
Stefan is in here getting hammerooskied.
Yeah.
She ain't drinking this to sip on it.
I'm getting wasted.
Hell yeah, man. Yep, there you go. Wasted, baby.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Are we ready for more vampire movies? Our favorite vampire. So we were hoping to come home and tell y'all that this has now made it onto our list of favorite vampire movies. Sadly, it is not. But we do have more favorite vampire movies.
We do have more favorite vampire movies, and I will tell you what, if you haven't seen them, the link is in the description below to all of them. We suggest these. Click on those links. Pick them up. And even if you don't, clicking on those links helps Talk Horror out a little bit, because it does lead to Amazon and,
All right. So what I was thinking about doing,
yes,
you can tell me if you're wrong, is not to go over the movies we talked about last night, but to quickly name them for anybody who's in here tonight that wasn't in here last night. Just name them. Just the names.
Name the movies we've already went over?
Yeah, just the names.
Okay, The Lost Boys, Near Dark, From Dusk Till Dawn, John Carpenter's Vampires, Let the Right One In, and we had a brief discussion on Sleepwalkers as to whether or not
it's a vampire film.
It counts as a vampire film. And once again, we have some different faces in here tonight. I want to know who considers Sleepwalkers a vampire film, because last night the chat was like 80% said yes.
Okay, and the ones I went over last night were Love at First Bite, Once Bitten, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Fright Night, and Interview with a Vampire.
Hey!
So that brings us up to date on which movies we're doing tonight.
Hells to the Yizza.
Yeah.
And yes, Arledge, they are also good. Great list. Thank you, brother man. Stefan loves Sleepwalkers, but do you consider it a vampire movie?
Yeah.
And then, she also agrees with some off of your list. Once Bitten.
Yeah, so if you need a more in-depth conversation on any of those movies we just listed and you weren't here last night, go ahead and check that out later.
And Nate, I would not be anywhere near as pissed as the fact that he's got his hands on The Exorcist right now, but I would fight Jason Blum over a nickel that has been laying on the ground and a raccoon ran over top of it and farted on it.
A raccoon fart?
A raccoon fart. I would fight Jason Blum
weirdly specific
over a 3-month-old McDonald's bagel that has since been processed through a rhinoceros's ass. I don't need an excuse to fight Jason Blum. I hate him.
Do you have bagels at McDonald's?
I don't know. They have that stupid McMuffin shit.
You do have that stupid McMuffin shit. I love you.
Yes!
Anyways.
Arledge coming up near dark makes me miss Bill Paxton, one of the coolest vampires of all time.
Pretty much everything Bill Paxton is in makes me miss Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Like you would say the same, yes?
Yeah.
Bill,
every time
I
I see Bill Paxton, it is like an angel has graced my household. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Stefano says, I love The Exorcist. David Gordon Green is ruining my favorite horror film. Me and Stefan are going to join forces, and we are going to hold David Gordon Green's Ellen DeGeneres looking ass down, and I'm just going to let you kick him in the ribs over and over. I think that's the answer to our problems.
Yeah. Although, I mean, to be fair.
Or let a raccoon fart on his face.
To be fair, it's not like he has the ability to take the original film and wink it out of existence. So it can't be ruined. It
cannot be ruined
forever. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. We will all, Stefan. I'm going to start a group for people like us, Stefan.
A support group?
I'm going to start a support group for people like me and you, Stefan, who we see Jason Blum for the heartless shark that he is.
Yeah.
And we will come together and we can beat this thing known as Blumhouse Productions. we will beat this together, my horror fam. But okay, enough of that. We're going to get into our movies here. Thank you though, Nate. That was a fun question. I love you, brother man. So, my first pick up on the list for tonight, for my continuation, I'm going with Buffy the Vampire Slayer-Aruski, and I'm talking about the movie. I never watched the show. I probably should.
Yeah, probably. Considering how much, anyways.
Anna has gotten me into Supernatural now, and like, she expected me to hate it. Hell, I expected me to hate it, but I actually like it. So, maybe I will give Buffy a try. But don't leave us in our moment of need, Stefan. You stay here, damn it. You better not be driving anywhere either, though. I'm on you. I know you've been drinking. Stay safe out there, people.
Yep. If you can't hang out with us anymore, stay safe.
I don't want to, I don't want to lose any members of the horror fam to silly stuff.
You're just going to bed.
Yeah. Go to bed. Go to bed, Stefan. Okay, so, Buffy the Vampire Slayer follows a teenage girl in high school, and she is approached by Donald Sutherland, total badass, as if you needed more reason to watch this movie, who becomes like her mentor, adopts her as his protege or whatever. He's like, listen, you are like the ultimate vampire killer. It's in your blood. It's in your lineage, whatever. And we need to train you to kill the vampires. But she is a total valley girl.
Yes.
So you can only imagine how things play out. But man, this has a stacked ass cast. You have Donald Sutherland, Rutger Hauer, Christy Swanson, Hilary Swank, Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman. Never go watch a movie in theaters with him. But
and then you've got
Pike, David Arquette.
You've got David Arquette and
Luke Perry. There you go. And let's not forget Sasha Jensen.
That's right.
That's, Oh, hey, Fat Dad says Facebook chat died, so I'm in here now. Yeah, I just got a weird error message from Facebook saying that it's having problems streaming to that platform right now, man. Glad you could join us over here. JK agrees. Paul Rubens was yes, Paul Rubens' death scene in Buffy the Vampire Slayer is the things legends are made of. He gets stabbed in the heart. He's like, ooh, ah, ooh. Oh, he won't die.
We'll do that to each other when we don't feel good. That.
Yes. So absolutely, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And let me tell you something, man. This thing's only rated like a 5 on IMDb. That is criminal. That is criminal, man. So folks, if you're on IMDb, go rate this movie a 10. It deserves it. I absolutely. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is such a fun vampire movie.
I can't believe with how intense of a fandom the show had.
I know.
More of the fans didn't watch the movie and just automatically bump that.
Fall in love.
You know what I mean? Like ton. Although it does have a very different vibe. So if you are a huge fan of the show and you've never seen the movie, they have very different vibes. Like the film, which came first, is a comedy, like a straight comedy. Like it is not scary at all. Like it is not, there is no deep emotional turmoil drama like there is in the show. It's just funny. Yeah. So enjoy it for that.
It is hilarious.
Oh, it's a 5.7. It's almost a 6.
It's a 5.7.
But it should be.
Come on, man. That is criminally low. It should be at least an 8.
Okay.
It should be at least an 8, universally loved. And it shouldn't be a movie that when we talk about it, people are like, oh, yeah, that movie does exist.
Yeah. It's weird. Chad Edmonds, glad you could make it in tonight, man. Hope you're doing okay. And
yes,
everyone should still crush on Christy Swanson.
Chad, Christy Swanson. Every night I go to sleep, it's like I can smell her hair and know that I'm teasing, but I do love you. Let me tell you something.
On the couch tonight.
That does bring up something though. A point that is valid though. For the guys, you get Christy Swanson, and for the girls, they get Luke Perry.
Yeah.
And Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer's really silly looking in this one. So there's
he is, but he's still Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, he totally is. But yeah, so Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Fat Dad, much love, dude. Check over that back catalog and let me know what you think, dude.
Fans of Sarah Michelle Gellar voting the movie down. I mean, the movie came out long before the show ever did, so I hope that that's not true, that it's not fans of Sarah Michelle Gellar voting it down.
You never know, though. I mean,
people are
things
weird. That's true.
Yeah, things are really weird on IMDb. Like I feel like IMDb has changed. Like there is no, if you pay attention to IMDb now versus back in the day, people would rate movies accurately. They would take that shit serious.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing to get on there and see Halloween 3 is rated literally a 3. Or Friday 13th 5 is rated a 3. Like I remember those days. You get on IMDb now,
nothing gets rated below a 6.
A 7 is an average rating. A 7 is the new 5.
Yeah.
For sure. And no, Anna knows I am kidding. I was just trying to think of something funny to say with Christy, and I couldn't come up with anything.
Well, it should never have started with every night when I go to bed like that.
Yeah. Well, whatever. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm tired. I've not been well since the fucking headache thing.
He hasn't, yeah. So.
And
neither of us really have. Like, I don't know if we caught a bug or so. We're trying to give each other a little leeway.
Yeah. So Anna, if you want to talk about Luke Perry's hair, you go right ahead, buddy. Chad Edmonds says
he looks kind of dumb in this movie too.
Well, Chad Edmonds says she throws a mean basketball. Totally agreed. BB. That is a Deadly Friend reference, and she totally killed the throw mama from the train woman from the Goonies.
Oh my god, how funny!
She just imploded her head in that movie. That's an underrated movie. Old Matthew Liberto and that bad boy. And you never know, JK. That is an interesting question because, people. I mean, we've seen what happens to certain celebrities when they share their political beliefs. It ruins careers. So,
John Heckman coming in here with a Braveheart quote.
He did?
Love it.
What? Steven's not right in the head?
In the head.
That's a Braveheart quote?
Yeah. When the character Steven introduces himself, it's like his second scene in the film, he kills someone who's trying to kill Mel Gibson. And he says, I never liked him anyways. He wasn't right. In the head. I
think John Heckman should just come over here and be the host for tonight. I think that wins it. I think that is the greatest comment of the night. Nobody's going to top that. And John, he wears the baseball cap. He smiles like me. We're both so handsome it should be illegal. And it probably is in some of the, places like Idaho or Delaware.
This is true.
They still won't let me back there ever since the summer of 2007. So,
yep.
So, John, if you want to come over and host, but Anna, go ahead and give us your next pick-a-rooski.
My next pick, and I'm glad JP is in here for this because
JP is in here. I don't see him.
He threw in one comment. Sorry, I'm late. That's all he said.
Oh my God,
JP,
you're going to have to up your game.
Hopefully, he's still listening because he is the only person who I saw drop this in the chat last night. And my next pick is Blade.
Blade.
Deal with it.
Blade. I don't think anybody has to deal with it because that is Farron B's favorite vampire movie.
Yes, Farron.
And then I have seen numerous people come in here and mention Blade, and then not only that, but check this out. Sorry, the computer is lagging a lot tonight, and I don't know why.
Everything is slow.
Everything's slow. But here we go. Blade is a 7.1
yes.
on IMDb with 282,000 ratings. So that is a hell of a ratio.
Yeah, I love them. I'm not going to lie. I love all three of them.
Ben, tell people what they're about.
Only like the first movie. It is, for those of you who don't know, it is a Marvel comic book. So it kind of feels like a comic book movie, which I love. So bravo. Blade is the character himself is, I guess you would say, like part vampire. His mother was bitten while he was in the womb. And so he is called the Daywalker because he's got just enough vamp in him where he has all kinds of cool vampire powers, but he can walk around in daylight and do other cool human things. So he's both. It's awesome. And he has made it his mission in life to hunt vampires. That's
right. That's Blade in a nutshell. And yeah,
it's awesome.
So I do know like you're a super fan of it. I haven't watched it as much as you or Farron. I know he's watched it a lot, but Blade it's a good movie, and there's definitely memorable scenes and memorable characters and stuff like that. I dig it. Unfortunately, well, either way, I think it's getting a remake, whether that's unfortunate or not.
No. Okay, so Wesley Snipes is perfect for the film. He has a really, really great voice that he lends this like gravitas to the character. Mm-hmm. He's also a black belt in, I don't remember which, but at least one martial art. And it shows up in the performance of the character. Like, he does his own fight scenes and they kick ass. And he kicks ass. The whole thing kicks ass. Like, why? We just watched them like a year and a half ago, and I thought they held up. Yeah. See, that's kind of my ruler for whether or not a film should be remade is, does the one that's still out there hold up? And if it does, why remake it? And it does, man. It's good. Well, I guess the bad guy's a little deeply in the 90s, but whatever.
Well, I mean, like Fat Dad said, Blade is timeless. Yeah. It holds up no matter what day it is, damn it.
Yeah.
I will actually say, Chad Edmonds says that Blade Trinity gave us the hunk Ryan Reynolds. Yes, unfortunately.
But it also gives us
the bombshell that is Jessica Biel.
I love her.
And it also gave us Triple H. Wasn't he in that one?
It also gives... Oh, and it gives us Parker Posey.
Parker Posey, yes.
Oh my God, I love it when she plays a villain.
Yeah.
She's so good as a villain. And, like, yeah, she was great. I love her. So
Ryan Reynolds, I'm not one of those guys who just like hates him just because I know he gets that. Because like there is some stuff I like, but it is not Blade Trinity because he will not shut the fuck up. Like that. Remember we watched that and it was like every time he's on the screen, he's going to say something just sarcastic, like constant.
It doesn't bother me the way it bothers you, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, but hey, you know, Triple H and Jessica Biel and Parker Posey, I will take that any day.
Oh yeah.
Of the week.
Yeah.
And Jessica Biel uses a bow in it.
She does, and she's great. They don't give her enough. I don't think she like may say 2 words in the whole movie, which is weird for her because I feel like she's not that type of actress. But it's great.
Yeah, so we're throwing you're throwing the whole damn franchise out there. Like, take it. I love them all.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think the first film is the best film of the 3.
Yeah.
But I think each one offers something cool, like for sure. In the second film, he has to work side by side with the vampires to fight something even worse. And that lends its own, you know, interesting plot, and you get a lot of like cool then vampires to root for. So that's fun. And yeah, Blade Trinity gives you, he now is working with a team of other hunters, albeit reluctantly because he's never had to work with anybody else before, and so that's fun too. So
yeah, absolutely good movies. And Chad, no one in the entire universe will ever agree with you on that point ever.
That's hilarious because I've always thought like she comes across so sweet in pretty much like everything. And
plus, isn't she like a really good person?
Apparently.
Like, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
we've checked that out before.
Yeah. So like she is universally, like, men love her obviously for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like that's when she like bust onto the screen, but she has since won over the lady folk too. You know what I'm saying? Like Jessica Biel is just a universally loved human.
I mean, she's not quite like Jennifer Garner universally loved.
Hey, fellow West Virginia gal right there.
That's why I threw that out. I feel like she's kind of like the like famously sweetheart thing. But but anyways,
Hells yeah. But okay, so my next pick. I'm going with, and I saw it mentioned earlier by JK. You are absolutely right. 30 Days of Night. Brother man.
Of which I am now once again the proud owner of the signed
graphic novel.
Thanks
from
to
Steve
my
Niles.
sweetheart.
Yes, so Anna originally had the graphic novel and it was stolen from her, and I found out about that, and you know, that hurt, and I was like, you know what? I think I can pull some strings and snag that for you. So yeah, so shout out to Steve Niles as well for making that happen.
Yeah.
You know, he's a super nice guy, him and his buddy. And they went above and beyond with what, because they even sent us like a signed plushie, a signed extra book. It's like, oh my God, you guys are amazing. But 30 Days of Night follows a little town in Alaska. I believe it's Barstow. And it is coming up, you know, at that time of year where they're faced with literally no sun. They're going to get plunged into 30 days of night, and it is the last day to get out of town or get out of the state, and people are trying, shit goes wrong. Anyway, vampires come in. They decide this is the perfect time to have a buffet, and there's Anna's signed plushie.
I was just going to let him be. He's now
part of the stream.
He's the mascot, the stream mascot.
Of the stream.
So go ahead.
Yeah, so, and he is signed as well by Mr. Niles, who wrote 30 Days of Night. And,
on his back.
You know, I'm a pretty awesome boyfriend, is I think what we're just trying to get at here.
Yeah.
But 30 Days of Night Great movie. It is vampires in the snow, and we know that I love snowy horror movies. I think it's the way the blood contrasts on it, and you know, I love the snow. The snow. I love the snow in general.
Yeah.
But great movie, great vampires. The vampires even have their own language, and it's brutal, and it's hectic, and it's just a really good movie. It's a very underrated movie. So if you haven't seen 30 Days of Night, I highly suggest, link is in the description below, click on it, go pick it up. This was like my mom's favorite movie, like favorite horror movie, became like her favorite horror movie or something, and she burnt that son of a bitch up. Like, she fell in love with this movie, and we would watch it all the time.
Cool.
Like, I wouldn't say it was her favorite horror movie, but like people, you know, that were around after this movie came out, they just remember, like, you guys were just always watching that movie. Like,
yeah, you know, and you and I are the same way. Like, there's some people just like love a movie, and so they watch it 20 times.
Yeah. Yeah, so she did and she loved Josh Hartnett.
Oh.
She was also in love with Josh Hartnett. So, you know, I mean, check him out. There's the Hartnett, the heartthrob Hartnett right there. You know what I'm saying? She fell in love with him, and you know, this was just one of those movies we always watched together. So, yeah. And, you know, got some horror alumni in here. You know, you got Josh Hartnett, of course, from Halloween H2O and The Faculty. Mark Boone Jr. from, you know, Sons of Anarchies and John Carpenter's Vampire. But you also have Melissa George from the Amityville remake and Turistas. So you get some cool some cool horror alumni in there. Oh, which reminds me of one thing I did want to mention. In Renfield, Caroline Williams, for all my horror fans out there, she does show up for literally like 3 seconds. Like, you did get to see Caroline Williams, whom of course plays Stretch in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. Totally forgot about that, mentioning horror alum, but I wanted to share that with everybody. So you are up now, Anna.
Yay! My next pick is Subspecies.
What? Now, that's one I believe I own it. I think Full Moon sent that to me at one point in time, but I've never seen it.
It's 1991 Romanian horror film.
What?
Following the mad adventures of the vampire Radu Vladislav.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And you need to see it.
Okay. And once again, I will pull up IMDb here. It's only a 5.5.
Wildly underrated.
But says 3 students get caught in the struggle between a good vampire and his evil brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the Transylvanian mountains.
That's what's I think so interesting and fun about this movie is you get that dichotomy, that evil versus good, and like does being a vampire necessarily make you evil? Yep. And you know, that's something that comes up later in the Buffy show. And yeah, if you like that storyline, like that whole concept, it was done here first, people.
Hey, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are rolling with Subspecies.
With Subspecies, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. You get some great claymation, which I had actually like forgotten about until you passed through that picture. And, you know, I love anything with claymation.
Yes, you most certainly do. And speaking of horror alumni and horror legends, I see Angus Scrimm.
Yep.
Plays King Vladislav.
Yep.
Badass, man.
Yep.
Badass. Yeah, I need to check this out. I think I have it on Blu-ray, but I haven't gotten around to it just yet. Yeah. And where is everybody, man? Did y'all fall asleep out there? Let's get some hands up.
Yeah.
Well, it's Friday. Let's party.
Let's party.
Yeah, come on, dude. Okay, so one that I wanted to just mention, you know, this isn't necessarily a vampire movie, but it was mentioned in the stream last night. And I remember thinking about it before we had went on the air, and I just want to show it off. And there is
a vampire in it.
There's a vampire in it. It is the Monster Squad, which follows a young group of monster fanatics as they attempt to save their hometown from Count Dracula and his monsters. So you get like Frankenstein, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Mummy, like classic horror monsters, and these like 12-year-olds are trying to save their town. But, you know, Dracula is the main bad. And like I said, at one point, and of course you got the Wolfman there, at one point, while he's holding one of the kids up, like I believe it's the little girl, you know, his little sister, he lets out a hiss. And it's like just the sound a cat makes before it ruins your day. You know what I'm saying? And oh my God, I love Frankenstein in it. You know, and there's Wolfman's got nards. We've got old Horace there. But yeah, if you haven't, never send a man to do a kid's job. There you go. There you go. That's the Monster Squad, baby.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen that since I was a kid. But I remember loving it. I loved it when I was a kid. Yeah,
it's super fun. Like I said, it's not, is it a vampire movie? Maybe. I don't know.
They're fighting a vampire.
They are fighting a vampire after all.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to stop showing the IMDb's because something is going horribly awry with my computer. But it's probably that
on you.
It's probably that typical Windows bullshit where they're like, "Hey, you need an update. Let's do it right now while you're doing shit."
Yeah.
You know, it's probably that. But yeah, if you haven't seen the Monster Squad, you should definitely check it out. It's a really cool classic vampire in it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, what have you got next, baby?
I have What We Do in the Shadows, 2014.
What?
Yeah. Starring
Taika Waititi.
Written by, directed by Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement. It's hilarious. If you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for?
So what does it follow? What's the plot?
It is a mockumentary about vampires all living in a house together in New Zealand.
Yeah, just trying to survive.
Trying to survive in the modern world, and it literally it's a camera crew following them.
All right, folks, picture this. It's the Golden Girls if they were vampires.
Oh my God. You're not even wrong.
There you go. I've given you the plot. The
comedy is better.
There you go.
It's not a sitcom.
No, it's not. What We Do in the Shadows is badass. And yes, TJ Johns, the series is great as well. And MX is shouting out.
Yeah, you can tell we love this series. We've dressed up in there as the characters from the series like a dozen times.
Yeah, totally. We absolutely have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, What We Do in the Shadows, highly suggest checking it out. It's hilarious.
It's so good.
JK is absolutely accurate.
And it's cool because it hits like each of the characters plays basically a different version of vampire. So like all the different vampires we have seen in film and whatever, like there's a character that's each of them. You've got one that's Nosferatu, and he basically like hangs out in a closet the whole movie, like and then you've got one who's definitely like the Prince of Blood. You've got
like you'll get the classical vampire, you'll get the the legendary vampire, you'll get the cool vampire, they think.
Oh yeah. None of them are actually cool.
No, but they think they are.
But they think they are. It's amazing.
They think they're all powerful. So yeah, What We Do in the Shadows. I'm also going to throw out. These were just some fun picks, so I really won't go into them. But because I think people are so familiar with them. Dracula Dead and Loving It. I think is hilarious, and more people need to see that. It's a Leslie Nielsen movie. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
It's a Leslie Nielsen movie. So when you think of Leslie Nielsen, think of him as a vampire and what the hell that's going to look like.
That's what you get.
It is a total spoof on the tale of Dracula. And then another one I'm going to throw out there, and this one is a serious vampire movie, and it's a recent one, and it did very well, and I think it got the attention it deserved, rightfully so, and that is Underworld. Underworld. You get both vampires and werewolves in it, and it's not some bullshit Twilight version either. Like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but this is an actual good movie. This is an actual vampires, werewolves, good movie, and love story, with both featuring vampires and werewolves.
Yeah, and the werewolves, in like side note, are like some of my favorite werewolves in film.
Yeah.
Totally
cool. And you get
just as far as creature design goes,
Scott Speedman with his butt chin, and you get Scott Speedman has a butt chin. Anna, quit acting like you're confused.
Is that what we call
yeah,
that?
he totally has a butt cheek for a chin. He has butt cheek chin. That is Scott Speed. That's what I think of when I picture Scott Speedman.
Funny.
Butt cheek chin.
Is it a mosquito?
I don't know. And then you get Kate Beckinsale running around in leather the entire movie, or pleather.
Leather, yeah. You
get Kate Beckinsale and that bad boy.
I mean, to be fair, it's like I'm not even thinking about Scott Speedman, because my favorite character in the first film is by far played by Bill Nye.
That's where I was going next. And then you get Bill Nye almost as like the classic badass vampire. I mean, he's like an updated Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Like he is the one that when you see him, you're like I'll go hand to hand with Celine, Michael, I ain't touching Bill Nye or Nighy or whatever the hell his name is. Like I always want to call him Bill Nye because of science.
Right. Bill Nye the science guy.
Bill Nighy the science guy.
Nye.
Yeah. So good movie, Underworld. Check it out.
Yeah, the sequels are not the best, but the first movie is awesome.
Because they get into some silly shit. Like they even have like an off-screen death for like
Michael.
The main character of the damn movies.
Yeah. Like he is the impetus of the whole first movie, and then he ends up with an off-screen kill. It's like,
oh my god.
Isn't his character more important than that? They're like, we changed our minds. He's not. It's like,
yeah, Scott Speedman must have really pissed somebody off.
Right.
Like
Exactly. You know what I did like, and I think I'm probably a minority.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the prequel, like a lot.
Oh, okay.
But I like period pieces. I can't help it.
You totally do. You're stoked for The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
I am.
Which we will be seeing. That's our next vampire movie in theater.
I hope it's good. Keeping my fingers crossed. We will see.
My
turn?
Your turns.
Oh, speaking of period pieces and controversial picks.
Yes.
I liked Dracula Untold. I don't care what you say.
It ain't so.
I did.
Okay, what's the story of Dracula Untold? Sell me on.
Dracula Untold is the story of how Prince Vlad became Dracula. That's what it is. So it is like a historical piece, but I think people get hung up on that, failing to realize that it's a fantasy film. It's a fantasy film. This is obviously not the actual history of Prince Vlad, because he becomes a vampire in it.
Yeah.
So like they got a lot of hate for not being more historically accurate, and it's like it's a fantasy film. So just watch it. If you haven't seen it, watch it as a fantasy film. It's all made up. The whole thing's made up.
Yeah. So Dracula Untold is,
and you can relax.
It is a great movie. It is very underappreciated, underrated, and underseen.
Yeah.
Like you never hear, you're the only person I ever hear talk about it. And when you do, I'm like, oh my, that was a good ass movie.
Yeah. My brother and I went to see it in the theater. We both really enjoyed it. And then I never heard anyone else talk about it.
Dracula Untold, man, like you said, tells the story of Prince Vlad and like what he did for his people, the sacrifice that he made.
Yes.
And
it's him fighting. So it's the Transylvanians, or the Carpathians, that whole region fighting the Turks, which is historically accurate. Like that's what he is famous for as a real human, was holding the Turks back from conquering Europe.
Yeah.
And so it tells that story, and that is how
which is a crazy ass feat.
Oh, it's
I mean, that's insane. And it's like you said the other day when we were talking about, you're like, people get hung up on, the whole lore of and what he had to do and like how he would put people's heads on pikes, but it's like,
their whole bodies.
Bitch, he was fighting for his entire country. Like, like what did you want him to do?
And not just his entire country, but literally the Western world. So at that point in history, the Ottoman Empire had conquered all of the Middle East, all of the Near East, all of Northern Africa.
Yeah.
Like they were like, here we come, Western Europe.
Yeah, and he was the last man standing in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and they were held off at the Danube River by what we now think of as like the Serbians, the Romanians. They were
so it's like people get, like, oh my God, he was a vampire. He put people's heads on pikes, and it's like, don't discredit what the hell he did, though. Damn it! Like, this son of a bitch is the Rocky of warriors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it covers that, and they make it personal, right? They create kind of a personal connection with him and the Ottomans and whatever. But I don't mind like story embellishments like that take something that's bigger and they make it kind of, they bring it down into the micro world so that you get like a personal story. Whatever, that's fine. Like, suck it up.
And but one thing,
Ricky Hogan enjoyed it. Thank you.
Ricky Hogan coming in.
Thank you.
Ricky Hogan, part of the Big PP Club, the offshoot of the exclusive side hustle of Talk Horror. There, the Big PP Club.
If you like period pieces, if you love like the whole medieval, we're fighting with swords, I think you'd enjoy it.
But there, I remember one really cool thing is once he becomes a vampire, was one thing that really stood out for me was the amazing visual effects. Like he could see, he saw the world differently. And like they addressed it in what I was like, oh man, that is kick ass. Like I've never seen that.
Yeah. You kind of get it. Like, so if you guys like Interview with a Vampire and you like the moment, Brad Pitt's character becomes a vampire, you get like a very short, small moment of what it's the change in how he views the world. This expands on that massively. So you get to actually travel the world with him with this new sensory perception and stuff. And it's really cool. Yeah,
it's really cool.
It is really
so, cool. And we, Ricky Hogan is like, agreed, I am part of the Big PP Club, and also the visuals were definitely pretty badass. They were, and like we've talked about, we can't figure out why this movie got shat on. I mean, maybe it's, maybe it's the fantasy thing, and people are like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then you go watch some shit like Renfield, and it's not even the movie that they promoted. But hey, that's and it's sitting at a 6.7 right now. But hey, who am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to start winding down. We've been on here for an hour. We have been with your lovely faces. Go ahead and send us some questions or comments or whatever you want to do. We'll be here to chat with you for the next few minutes before I go and get waffles and then regress into a puddle of lumpiness on the couch.
I did have, while we wait for our questions, comments, concerns to come in, I did want to give a special shout out to Nick Cage's A Vampire's Kiss.
Oh.
It is not one of my favorite vampire movies, but it is Cousin Nick's, like, one of his most famously bizarre performances, and you haven't seen it, you should. Just to say you have.
Well, and I'm glad you bring that up, sweetheart, because that reminds me, I would also like to give a shout out to James DeChudis's Embrace of the Vampire. I think that could really serve some people. It has certainly served him over the years. So once again, watch James DeChudis's Embrace of the Vampire. And thank you, James DeChudis later. JK says, I'm sorry I can't stay any longer. Today was shot day and I need to take my pain reliever and sleep. Great stream. I hope y'all have a great night. JK, I returned your email. It was really quick because I was like, hey man, please hook me up there with a response to that. And if you can't, then that's cool. I promise I will indulge your comments and stuff like that and send you a much lengthier email, if you can't do what I requested in my new email. But I didn't want you to think I was writing you off, man. We were just going to head out the door, and I was like, I want to get back to JK, blah, blah, blah. So I will get you, man. I will get you, brother. Sorry that you're having a rough go of it today, dude. Sleep well, man. We love you, man. All right. Patty Heckman says, great jobs. You both are so entertaining together. It seems I need to catch up on vamp movies. Steven, how do I become part of the Big PP Club? Don't worry, Patty. You are the COO of the Big PP Club.
Yeah, and I know, Patty, because I know your taste so well that a lot of times I'll say, oh, no, that's not for Patty. Yeah. I don't know if there are any on either of our lists that you wouldn't enjoy. So you can find them all in the descriptions of the films, or we can send them to you later. I think you too would be a huge fan of the genre.
Honestly, if there was one where I'm like, Patty might not be the biggest fan of it, would off of my personal list, it would have been John Carpenter's Vampires, but I know she likes it.
She loves it.
So
it's got a Baldwin in it.
It does have a Baldwin in it. So there you go, Patty. So all these picks on here are safe. Like, you stand a good chance of liking. There's none where I'm like, oh man, that just would not serve her.
And if you need somewhere to start, if you haven't seen it for a while, because I'm pretty sure you've seen it at least once, go back and watch Interview with the Vampire again. It's got your boy Tom Cruise in it. You're welcome.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It's got that Tom cruisy goodness. He's cruising right to your heart, Patty.
Yep. And I saw that above here. MX brought up True Blood, which was a HBO series based on a series of books that follows a fairy and her mix up with vampires.
Wait, so it's True Blood, or was it Vampire Diaries that Everything Horror Collectors suggests?
Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
Would
you suggest that as well? I mean, he did.
I mean, to be fair, okay, so the difference is Vampire Diaries is a YA
young adult
series of books. So it's written for a much younger crowd. True Blood is definitely an adult series.
Yeah.
It's very adult.
Big PP Club adult?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I am not a huge fan of either, though there are things I like about both.
Okay.
Yeah. True Blood, there are some characters I love.
Yeah. Okay.
But so much of the main plot, I don't.
But as they say in Greece, fuck them. So, sorry, folks. We are, Renfield beat me today, and we've been sickly since the headache. So, hey, we're just having fun. We're doing the best we can. You get if you've ever wanted real life zombies, you've got them tonight.
With a Walking
We're
Dead.
on the loose. Yeah. Anna's like Heath Ledger Joker, and I'm like, who was the dude who played in Joker? Joaquin. I'm Joaquin Joker.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
We are in trouble. We're mad
Things
cats.
are about to get ugly around here.
And we're about to get sugar. It's over. All right. John Heckman says, anything from Eric H? Yes. So I sent him the money, like I said, immediately after the stream last night. Yes, and he sent me multiple messages over and over that was probably all he could say.
Yeah.
Because it was just, thank you so much. I mean, and he would just reiterate, I mean, you know, almost that exact statement over and over, you know, thank you so much. This means so much. You know, he told me that, you know, it made him cry. And, you know, I've heard from him a little bit today as well. You know, once again, thank you so much. This means the world to me. And, you know, just, you know, not much chit chat with him. You know, he's got a lot of stuff going on, but, so yeah, I've talked with him. And he's, you know, he's doing the best he can, but we got him his money, and he, you know, we did the best we can, man. You know, the horror fam was there for him as much as we could be, and we, you know, we're gonna help see him through this. You know, every day, you know, is another day with Eric, and you know, another day with the fam, and you know, we and he grows stronger.
But thank you for checking in on him.
Yes, thank you for checking in. And, you know, and also, you know, I did when I sent him the money. Well, I'll tell you the message I sent him. I listed every name that donated that night. And I prefaced the message by, I said, I love you. Your friends love you. The horror fam loves you. We love you. And then I signed it with everybody's name who made a donation. So that money went right to him, and you know, it is serving him well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any other questions or comments, my friends? We're going to wrap it up. You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get to us, and we're out of here.
TJ Jones says Vamp with Grace Jones. I didn't even know Grace Jones did a vampire movie.
What?
I love her.
Is that a real thing?
Please tell me that's real. Is that real? Well, should I check?
I don't know. And Patty comes right on in and she's like, stake him.
Yeah, stake him. Stake him.
Yeah, we can't let those vampires live around these
Especially
spots.
when they're Baldwins.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Yes, so TJ said yes, that is a real thing. MX says Vampire Diaries and the originals tied together.
You know what?
So,
like, I don't even need Vamp to be good. I just want to see Grace Jones. Does she play a vampire in the film? Because,
yeah.
Thank you, because I love her.
Hello again, Grifter Roblox. That is a cool user profile picture you have there, man. Chad Edmond says Fright Night Part 2. No, if I remember right, that one is the stupid one where they're on roller skates. Isn't that the one with the roller skate vampires? And
isn't it?
I think so. Yeah,
if it's not, we are sharing the same fever dream.
Yeah, if that's what that is, then no. Oh, there you go, TJ hitting you up, buddy.
Yes, and it's not. I know my first one was does Grace Jones play a vampire? Yeah. So that's a yes, and I don't remember what my second question was. Oh no! But yes.
Brister says we gotta watch Count Sharkula, a low-budget horror flick with bad camera lens and bad acting. Count Sharkula.
Oh my god, that's like. Oh, I know what my second statement was. It was like, I hope she plays a vampire, and I don't even care if it's bad. And you're saying it's not.
Cool. Yes. Yeah. Hells yeah. Yeah, that is. We did get Fright Night 2 accurately.
Yeah.
Hells yeah. Oh my god, TJ. I hope he's referring to Count Sharkula. Saying it's awful. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to go get us some waffles, and I'm going to watch it.
We're out of here.
Whoa, wait. We're still, what? Who? Wait, who are you? Oh, my God. She's dying, too, for real, though. Once again, folks, the links are in the description below to all the movies we discussed today, or I tried to include all of them. So if you want to check them out, those links lead to Amazon. I appreciate every single one of you for being here and talking with us. I'm sorry the stream was a little bit above. I was hoping Renfield would be better and I could come on here and be like, look, go out there and go fucking see it tonight. It's Friday. Go! But I totally couldn't. Totally,
Right.
totally very
If you're
mediocre, my friend.
disappointed,
So
so are we.
yeah, we are too. We are too. But we do today is April 14th, my friend. So do you know what that means? We have 1 week from today until the Ultimate Talk Horror Bash. So prepare for that, people. I want you to save money, do what you got to do. Get out there next Friday, get yourself a pizza, get yourself some cake, get yourself that drink, Kool-Aid jammers, whatever you're going to do. Water balloons. Yeah, water balloons. And that's the most important thing. And come party with us. Be here. We'll be accepting calls. Get in contact with me if you want to be on the show. I am dropping my email in the chat. Get in contact with me if you want to be on the show. I will hit you up. And we'll make that happen. I will make those dreams come true. You can party with us. But after today, my friends, because we will be here tomorrow, we have 6 days left. 6 days after today.
I think Chad is letting us know how his day went today.
Oh, Chad, man, that's wild. Funeral procession was awesome. 2 bikes, then 1 car, repeated until we ran out of bikes, man. That's cool.
Mile and a half long.
Dang, man. A lot of friends there.
Okay, man.
Yeah, do okay, man. Have yourself a good night. Love everywhere, folks. We're throwing love around like it's going out of style in the Talk Horror fan.
Yeah.
All right, my friends, until tomorrow.
Look horror.
Look horror.
Listen horror.
Listen horror. Do as she says.
Talk horror.
Talk horror. See y'all, man. Woo!
Bye, guys.
We're out of here.